Welcome to The Explainer. The AI revolution is definitely here, but it's probably not what you've been led to believe. You see, it's this incredible story of amazing promise crashing head-on with a pretty messy reality. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see what that really means for the future of how we all work.
We're going to break this all down in 5 parts, starting with the absolute gold rush that first got everyone's attention. Let's dive in.
To really get a sense of the scale here, you just have to follow the money. I mean, the generative AI market is on track to explode from about $40 billion today to an absolutely staggering $1.3 trillion in less than a decade. Now, that's the kind of money that doesn't just start a trend, it starts a gold rush.
And this whole explosion really started with one particular tool leading the charge, and its growth has been, well, just mind-blowing.
So if you've heard any talk about AI losing steam, just forget it. In May alone, ChatGPT's traffic didn't just climb, it blew past giants like Netflix and Reddit. It became the 13th most visited site in the entire world, with 3.1 billion visits. And this isn't some Silicon Valley bubble thing, it's global. Some of the highest uses in places like Brazil, the UK, and Indonesia.
And we're not just talking about people playing around with it for fun. Just look at the professionals. The majority of them are now genuinely excited and hopeful about AI's role in their field. And what's really telling is that feeling jumped 11 points in just 1 year. That's a huge shift in attitude.
This excitement, it really comes from a super clear vision. Using AI as a tool to cut through complex work and find new solutions. At the end of the day, it's about getting more done and saving time in a world that just keeps getting more competitive.
Okay, so we have all this potential. How is it actually being put to work in the real world right now?
Well, in really demanding fields, like law and tax, AI is already handling the daily grind. It's taking on those repetitive tasks, document review, initial research, summarizing huge reports, and that frees up the skilled pros to focus on the high-value strategic stuff. And this is just getting started. A massive 95% of professionals believe AI is going to be central to their jobs within 5 years. In fact, get this, over a third of them think that shift is going to happen in the next 2 years. Change is coming. And it is coming fast.
The promise here couldn't be clearer. AI isn't really here to do your whole job. It's here to do the parts of your job you probably don't want to do anyway. It's about shrinking the time it takes to go from having a problem to delivering a solution.
But, and it's a really big but, there's this huge gap between that exciting future and the kind of messy reality of today. Which brings us to the million-dollar question, or in this case, the trillion-dollar question. With all this money being spent and all these people using it, is the investment actually paying off? And this, right here, is where we see a major disconnect. I mean, it's kind of wild. While 95% of people believe AI will be central to their work, look at the other numbers. Only about a third have gotten any real training on it, and a tiny 20% say their company even bothers to measure the return on investment. It's like everybody bought a race car, but nobody's teaching them how to drive or keeping score.
And this isn't just a business strategy problem. Even the power users are getting frustrated. Despite all the hype around the latest models, you see people online describing them as lobotomized or acting like an overworked secretary. Just flat, uncreative, and sometimes not even as helpful as the older versions.
But beyond just frustration, there's a much darker side to all of this. We're talking a landscape of really serious legal and ethical risks.
The tech behind all this is usually called AIGC, or AI-generated content. And yeah, it's completely changing digital media, but all that power comes with some pretty serious hidden dangers.
And it's already led to some massive legal battles. The big music labels, for instance, are suing AI music tools for what they're calling willful copyright infringement on an almost unimaginable scale. The whole fight boils down to this. They're accusing these AI models of being illegally trained on copyrighted music.
And that copyright fight, it's really just one piece of a much, much bigger ethical puzzle. We're talking about a whole list of risks, from bias that's literally baked into the models, to plagiarism, to spreading misinformation, and even accidentally leaking sensitive private data. So, what's the way forward through all this chaos? Well, it's not about building a better AI. It's about having better humans. The whole conversation is finally shifting. AI isn't a replacement for professionals. It's an augmentation, a tool that absolutely requires rigorous human thinking to guide it, to double-check its work, and to add that creative spark that only a person can. Being able to master these tools is fast becoming a critical skill. The real power users aren't just typing in simple sentences. They're creating these sophisticated frameworks to prompt the AI with incredible precision. As you can see here, they're breaking a request down into all its components, almost like a professional photographer planning a whole shoot.
As one of these expert propters put it, you're not just describing a product, you are directing a commercial shoot. You're controlling every single detail, from the lighting and the lens choice all the way down to the overall mood and vibe. The AI knows how cameras work, so should you.
So in the end, yeah, AI is becoming this incredibly powerful engine for answers. But the machine itself isn't the revolution. The real evolution is human. The value we get from AI is going to depend entirely on our ability to be better collaborators, better directors, and better critical thinkers. The AI will always give you an answer. The real question is, are you asking the right questions?